Hi everyone, Amanda here with Unwind Flow Yoga. For today's class, we'll be doing our outer hip awareness level 2. So this class will be great for anyone who spends a lot of time sitting a lot and has tight hips. But today, in addition to a little bit of stretching that we're going to do, we're also going to look at the strength of our outer hips. It will be a full yoga flow practice, so we're going to work into all areas of the body, but bringing that specific attention and awareness to the strength of our outer hips. Starting off with a little bit of core work, so when you're ready, meet me lying down on the back. So finding yourself on the back here, let's just take a moment to bring out our awareness to our breath, because that'll play an important part in our practice today. As usual in our yoga practice, take a breath in through the nose, release out through the nose. Allow it to feel good to take a few breaths here. And then take that next breath in. Let's hug our right knee into our chest, interlace the fingers along the front of our right shin here. And I'm going to extend my left leg all the way out, flex all 10 toes. From here, getting into our outer hips, I'm going to take my right hand onto my right knee and my left hand onto my right foot, and then start to rotate the knee out to the side. So getting right into this external rotation, a little bit of stretch in our outer hips. And then from here, this is where the core awareness comes in. Start to peel head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. So I'm bringing my chest a little bit closer to my right shin. And then you can stay here or start to hover your left foot off the floor. And then we're just going to stay here and hold. And then a final challenge here is that we release the hands on the legs, see if we can keep the rotation. So keep the right leg where it is. See if you can release the hands. Hold your pose here for 3, 2, 1, and then make your way out as you came in. Let everything on the floor. Drop the feet down. Take a moment to pause. Second side. Interlace the fingers along the front of your left shin this time. Flex through all 10 toes if the right leg is extended. And then get that external rotation. Left knee comes out to the left. Left hand on the left knee. Right hand on the left foot. Peel head, neck, and shoulders up. Keeping the abdominals hugged in. Bring the chest a little bit closer to your left shin. And then see if you can hover your right foot off the floor. Just hanging out here for a moment. And then the final challenge is to keep the leg where it is. See if you can release the hands. This one doesn't like to go as far. Keep the leg where it is. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. And then as slowly as you came in, see if you can drop out. Take a moment. Pause there. Great work. Hug the knees in. And then let's come all the way into downward facing dog. So cross the ankles, rock up, plant the hands. Tuck the toes under, take the hips up and back, and then take a few breaths to bend one knee and then the other. Warming up through the backs of the legs now. Find a still pose and then take a breath there. From here, come high onto the tippy toes, bend the knees come out to the side, look forward. From there, step one foot and then the other towards the top of your mat, your hip distance apart. Take the hands to the shins, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, release, fold forward. From here, use the strength of the legs to rise all the way back up. Exhale, hands come towards heart center, pause there. Warming up with some lunge salutations. So when you're ready, inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, let it go. Hands to shins, inhale, lift, halfway, lengthen. Notice the relationship of the hips here in our halfway lift. So hips behind you, crown head forward. Exhale, release, hands to floor. Let's step our right foot back behind us. Right knee lowers down towards the ground. Hands are down here. Squeeze outer hips together. Feel the strength of the legs and allow that to rise yourself up. Arms lift, chest open. So you can sink a little lower without dropping in all the way. So we're just warming up right now. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands to floor. Step back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, inhale, come forward, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adding on, inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left foot steps in between the hands. Right knee lowers down, squeeze outer hips, rise up. Take a breath in. Exhale, let it go. From here, right hand to floor, left arm reaches up. Release, sink the hips down, and you might like to walk the left foot over to the left edge of your mat to drop the hips even lower here while the left arm is lifted. Feel yourself opening the chest, spinning the chest away from the left hip as it drops down towards the ground. Exhale, left hand to floor. Walk the left foot back in if you moved it. Lift the right knee up. Step forward, right foot knee to left, forward fold. Take an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release. Second side. This time take your left foot, step it back behind you. Left knee to floor. New side here. So squeeze outer hips. Use the strength to lift yourself up. So you can keep the integrity of the legs as you sink maybe an inch lower. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog, pause. Inhale, rock forward, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll add in those vinyasas in a moment, but for now, just warming up the arms. Alright, finishing off here, take a breath in, right leg rises. Exhale, right foot steps in between the hands, left knee lowers down. Rise yourself up into that low lunge. Take a breath in. Exhale. Take a breath in, go a little taller. Exhale, use the length, left hand to floor, right arm reaches up. This time we're sinking our hips down. Walk the right foot a little bit further over to the right to drop the hips even lower here. And then spiral the chest open. Take another breath in. Exhale, unravel here. Right hand to floor, lift the back knee up. And then step forward, left foot meets the right, come into your forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, release, let it go. On an inhale, rise all the way back up through center. Exhale, palms touch, hands towards the heart. Pausing here in our Tadasana, so feet are hip distance apart here. Bringing that attention to our outer hips here, so almost like pockets on the side of our body. Like we have our jeans pockets in the front and the back, but if we had this center pocket here, what would that look like? How might we use that in our next sequence here? Take that next breath in, lift the arms up. On an exhale, let's bend into the knees, sink the hips down, find Utkatasana. And in our fierce pose here, with the feet hip distance apart, I want you to think about spreading the feet even wider apart so they're not going to move. But if we could take both legs further away from each other, how would that feel? Probably feel something in our outer hips as I do right now. Take another breath in. Exhale, fold forward, let it go. From here, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, walk the feet back, plank pose. So from here, we'll flow, or you can go into downward facing dog. Knees or toes, lower all the way down. Untuck the toes, top of the feet down, lift up, cobra pose. Exhale, hips lift, up and back, downward facing dog. On an inhale, right leg rises. This time, let's bend the knees, stack the hips, open up. So we're lifting our right knee up towards the ceiling as we drop the right heel behind us. Take another breath in. Exhale, right foot steps in between the hands. This time we're gonna come up for crescent lunge. So really using the outer hips. We're gonna press the right heel down into the floor. Notice how that turns on our right sitting bone. And then use the strength of the right leg to rise yourself up, arms lift. Paying attention to that as we come into a twist. So we're gonna start off with a nice upright twist. Take a breath in. Exhale, spiral the chest open to your right. So the arms are gonna spread wide as we sink down. And then the 2 points I want you to pay attention to are your right hip crease. So bring your right thumb into your right hip crease and feel like you're pulling it back as the right knee lowers. And then really power up your left thigh. So left leg is strong, right leg is sinking down. And then see if you can keep that come into revolved crescent. Hands come towards the heart. Hook the right elbow onto the outside of hook the left elbow onto the outside of the right leg. Draw the right shoulder back behind you. Keep the strength in your right leg. Take another breath in. Exhale, unravel. Hands to floor, step back plank. Option, vinyasa or downward facing dog. Your choice. Exhale, we'll meet back into downward facing dog. When you're ready, left leg rises. On an exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips, open up. So left knee lifts, left heel drops over to your right. Take another breath in. Exhale, left foot steps in between the hands. Crescent lunge. Feel the strength before you rise up. Left heel down to the floor. Feel like you press down to lift yourself up. Find your crescent lunge, arms rise. Take another breath in. Exhale, come to that twist. So open the arms wide. Sink a little lower. And then we'll get into the specifics. So left thumb comes into the left hip crease. Drop back. And then bend the knee a little bit more. Counter that strength of the right leg. So you can keep these two things. Left hip back. Right leg strong. And then maybe come to revolved crescent. Taking the hands towards your heart, right elbow hooks onto the outside of the left knee, chest is open, left shoulder is back. Notice the breath. Finishing off our flow here. As you're ready, take the hands, plant, step back, plank, or downward facing dog. Cobra on an inhale. Down dog on an exhale. From here, big toes touch. Come onto the balls of the feet. Bend the knees wide, look forward. Exhale, step the feet in between the hands, hip distance apart. On an inhale, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale to rise, lift yourself all the way back up, arms lift. Exhale, hands to heart, and then release them down by the sides. Pause there. Adding on to our sequence here. Inhale, arms rise up. As you exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips down, find Utkatasana. Once again, think about spreading the feet apart. Take another breath in. Exhale, hands towards the heart. And then from here, we're going to do little taps. So weight is in the right foot. I'm going to tap the left toes out to the left, bring them back, tap right, bring it back, and left, and right, and left, right, left, right, left. Two more. Stay low. Last one, come back through center, Utkatasana, yes. And then inhale, rise all the way back up. Exhale, hands towards the heart. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips down. This time we're going to add a balance. Take the hands towards the heart. Balancing on our right leg, stay low, bring the left knee in towards the chest. Keep the right leg as it is. Can you come into standing pigeon here? So left ankle crosses right thigh, sink the hips low back behind you. Stay with your breath. Inhale to rise. We're going to take our left knee all the way up in towards the chest. Step it back for crescent lunge. Left toes to floor. Come up into your crescent, arms rise. Feel the strength of the right leg. Exhale, hands towards the heart. Open up warrior two, heel to arch, bend into the right knee over ankle. Spread the arms wide. Feel the right outer hip working. Hip hugs underneath you to create a strong pose. Take another breath in. Exhale, side angle. Right arm, right thigh, left arm reaches up and overhead. Take a moment to be still here. Inhale to rise back up through center, warrior two. Take the hands towards the heart. Straighten the right leg. Right toes are going to face the long edge of your mat. And let's take the heels in, toes out, coming into skater pose. I'm going to go towards my left first. So stick the butt back behind you this time. As you sink into your left leg, right leg is straight. Hands can be at the heart, on the hips, wherever is most comfortable for you. Switch sides and come over to your right. Come over to your left. Inhale, switch. Exhale, stay. Inhale, switch. Exhale, stay. Take a couple more here. Maybe you want to stay low instead of coming up. We will repeat this on the second side. So warming up here, noticing where you feel strength, where you feel like you wish you had a little bit more strength. Next time you're back at the top of your mat, bring the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Option to stay here or take a flow. All together from downward facing dog. Let's take the right leg, step it outside the right hand. Take the left leg, step it outside the left hand. Come into Malasana, your yogi squat. Arms are on the inside of the knees here, or inside of the thighs. Sink the hips down. Tall spine here, lift the chest. Reconnecting to the feet and the legs. We're going to use the strength of the legs to stand all the way up. So when you're ready, start to lift. We made it back through center, heel to the feet, back underneath the hips. Pause in your Tadasana. Slow down the breath. Let's repeat that sequence on the second side. So when you're ready, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips down. Starting off with those taps, you can take the hands to heart center, tap the left toes, then the right, then the left, then the right. Returning the foot underneath the hips so you stay balanced and staying low. I like to think like I'm tapping my toe into a pool to see if it's the right temperature. One more each side. Come back through center and then rise up on an inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips down, find Utkatasana. This time we'll balance on the left. Hands can come to the heart or the hips or wherever makes sense for you. Squeeze in the left leg, lift the right. Stay low, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, pause. Keep the hips sinking back behind you, chest forward. Take that next breath in, come to stand. So right knee to chest, exhale, crescent lunge. Right toes to floor, inhale, rise the arms up. Exhale, find warrior two. So open the legs. Left toes are forward, bend into the left knee, knee over ankle. Feel the outer hip working to create a strong and stable pose. From here, side angle pose. Left forearm, left thigh, right arm lifts up and overhead. Feel the stretch along the right side body. Enjoy a moment of stillness here. Notice that we can balance strength and stillness. We don't need to be doing lots of movement to feel this sense of isometric strength. But we will get our movement in a moment. On an inhale, come back through center, warrior two. Straighten your left leg, left toe stays along the edge of your mat, and then heels in, toes out. Take the hands towards the heart. Bend into your left knee, so right leg is straight. And then we'll just start to move right away here. So coming through skater pose. Hands can stay at the heart, on the hips. You can even take them out to the side for a little bit more counterbalance. When I use the arms, I feel like I almost come further because the hands, I follow the hands. Moving side to side here. Let's take one more each side. And then once you're back at the top of your mat, hands to floor, step back, downward facing dog. Option, down dog or flow. Once you're back in downward facing dog, take a breath. And then from here, Balasana once again. So left foot, outside of left hand, right foot, outside of right hand. Bend the knees, sink the hips down. Arms on the inside of the legs, open chest. Connecting back into our strength. Connect to the soles of the feet. Connect to the outer hips. And then use that strength to rise yourself all the way up, arms lift. Exhale, hands come back underneath the hip, pause. From here, we're finished with our flow sequence. So we're just gonna take a few poses to stretch it out. Take your inhale, arms rise. Exhale, palms touch, bend the knees, fold forward. From our forward fold here, grab onto opposite elbows here to get a little bit of a sway side to side. Come back through center, hands to floor. Hands to shins, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. From here, pigeon pose. Right knee comes towards the right wrist. Lower yourself down, walk the left leg back behind you, point the left toes straight from the ankle. Hands come beside the hips, create a nice tall spine here, chest open. Right hip is heavy, left hip is dropping down towards the mat. Option to stay upright, or you can start to walk the hands forward, maybe come onto forearms or stack the palms, forehead down. We'll be in two long holds here in this one. We'll do a little bit of longer holds for our outer hips in our outer hip yin practice, which is coming out in a couple weeks. While we're here, even for this short time though, give yourself a chance to drop in. Noticing the stretch in your outer hips where we worked our strength today in our standing poses. Take another breath in. Exhale, let it go. And then as you're ready, slowly start to re-support yourself here. Make your way back to downward facing dog and give yourself maybe 2 or 3 breaths just to walk it out. Bring some circulation back into the right leg. And then when you feel somewhat that sense of equilibrium back, left side, left knee, left wrist. Drop the hips down. Keep the hands by the hips for now, just to find our starting point for our pose. So entering in with that sense of integrity. Left hip heavy, right hip is dropping down. And then once you found it there, you can bring the hands forward. Any variation here. Noticing here that your outer hips might be somewhere that's a little bit tighter for you. You said a lot, that might be the case. That's the case for me. So if I'm looking for any change in this area, it's going to take a little bit of effort to counter all the sitting that I do. So doing a practice like this one or any of the other ones in our outer hip awareness focus will really help me in a lot of different areas. So in all my movements, in my seated practice, my meditation practice, it helps me be more comfortable there. Wherever you are, take another breath in. And exhale, release. And then take the hands underneath the shoulders. Bring yourself back towards downward facing dog. Once again, a little bit of time here to walk out your down dog. Bend one knee and then the other. And then from here, soften the knees down towards the floor. Knees wide, big toes touch. Take it into a child's pose. Just for a moment. Forehead down, arms straight. Allow the hips to sink heavily back towards the heels. Take that next breath in and slowly rise back up. And then take yourself to lie down off the back. Take the legs out if that's comfortable, and then the right knee hugs in. Just gonna come into a twist. Right knee draws across the body. See if you can allow it to land anywhere on the left side of your mat. The right hip is going to lift off the floor to get you there. Right arm can come out like a T or a cactus shape. And I'm using my left hand on the outside of the right leg to weight the right knee, the right thigh a little bit. Pausing here and twist for a few breaths. Take that next breath in, slowly draw yourself back through center. Right leg long, left knee to chest. When you're ready, left leg draws across the body. See where it can land on the right side of your mat. Find your pose. Use the right arm as a little bit of weight on the left leg. And just allow yourself to drop in. Give yourself a little bit of stillness and silence here. That next breath in, slowly bring yourself back through center. Straighten the left leg. Give the toes a little bit of a wiggle there. Walk the shoulder blades underneath the rib cage. Take a few cycles of your breath here. And then we're just about at that 30-minute mark, so that's all the time that you have today. We'll end our practice here, but if you do have a little bit more time, I encourage you to lay here in Shavasana as long as time will allow. Before you move on with your day, take a moment to extend gratitude to yourself for making it to your yoga practice. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste.